Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of HR to CHRO podcast. And today we have Mr. Subhanish Malhotra with us. He started his career with Globus Stores as regional HR manager after his management. And then he joined Arvind Limited as general manager. Then he was at Wellspun India and then at Wellspun World as VP. And currently he is Group CHRO at Simpolo Tiles and Bathware. So, welcome, Subhanish. Thanks for giving us time.
Thanks, Amit.
So, to start with, Subhanish, why HR? Why did you decide to start your career with HR?
So, coming straight to that, when I was doing my graduation, I tried hands in sales and into the finance as well. And then I have come across, then I had interaction with an HR person and somewhat I got influenced. I was finding it interesting. And I think I love, when it's come to discussing things with people, understanding their issues, and every one of us have different challenges, and end of the day in each function if you see it's operating by the people. So I thought this is something which is very important for any organization, because today, if you look at capital, you can easily get funded by any of the banks. PE are there, technologies are available. I think people is something which is going to make a difference. So I thought this is the field I want to build my career on, and that's how I moved into HR field.
Very nice. So, see, you have had a remarkable journey, and within a span of 15-20 years, it has been a relatively faster movement to the CXO level. Now, I was looking at some research which says that only 0.5% people they end up reaching the CXO level, which is a very small minority. So, what has been your secrets of success, Subhanish?
So I would say learning mindset. If you ask me the nuggets, I would say the hard work, and apart from that, focus on more on the business side. So initially I was into HR domain, but over the period of time, when I started my career, I gradually started understanding the business more, spending more time on the business to understand the productivity levels, revenue levels, understanding more on the business side. I think this is what had helped me to reach to you can say the CXO role, and I'm able to contribute, to do some value addition. So as per me, I think for any role, like especially we have to see what value we are adding, and as an HR, we have to talk other than engagement stores. We have to talk about how the business is moving, how are the growth is coming, what are the new change of working going to come, what is the future of work, how it's look like, what talent requirement in the future we required, taking organization to the next level, and how as in whenever we are adding any people resource to the organization, how that is impacting the organization in terms of productivity, in terms of revenue numbers, in terms of process improvement. So I think that is what is I think helped me.
Very nice. So, see, this is again one of my favorite topics. See, when I started my career in 90s, HR was looked at in a certain way. In my campus, I remember mostly manufacturing companies had come, and HR was IR, and and it was looked in a certain way, as a support function. Cut to now, like you were saying that being learning about business, about finance, about sales, and in getting involved, and that has helped you reach the CHRO level. So, how important is it for a young HR professional to be conversant with the business language, be it sales, be it finance, be it legal or anything?
So, I mean, if you ask me, like when we start our career, like any young guy who's joining the industry, so what is happening today? The people have, I would say, unlimited exposure. If I look at my time, we were having very limited exposure. If you
Correct.
ask, because and if you see today, and but we were having patience, we were having, focus on one thing. And what's happening, like especially the young people coming in, so they have unlimited exposure, but they have a limited patience. So most of the people want to go into strategy first instead of understanding the execution part.
Correct.
So I think this is something it's important when they start their career. to have a learning mindset, understand why things are moving in a certain way in the organization. So having a curiosity, having, asking questions, right questions, and bringing perspective, how they can, help the processes, and gradually first understand the basics first. I would say, so I tell you, I've been a panel of multiple B school when we they recruit their fresh batch for the studies. So the major challenge is people sometimes they don't aware about their domain, which they have done. Let's say, for example, like people in HR, most of the people come with a full-time MBA program in HR, but before that they study certain graduation, either certain kind of engineering background. Some people are from finance background. Some people are from BBA, BCom. Multiple stream people are coming in. So the what is disheartening, people don't give focus on the basic skills. What are they studying in the college? I think if you ask me, theoretical understanding is equally important, because once you understand any theories, processes, then you can see the application of those processes in the organization. So I think for a young people, when they start their career, so they have to understand. For example, like give you one example, like investment function. If you look at finance guy, so for any investment in any company, there are a few methods which are very standard method. If you look at that, the capital budgeting is the way. They have like internal rate of return, they have a NPV, they have a average rate of return, they have payback period. So as an youngster, am I familiar with those concepts which are taught in my class? So so then are we talking about at least those things which we have studied? So and today I think YouTube is there, a lot of exposure. I think things have changed drastically, if you ask me.
Correct.
I think most of the people have today Chat GPT, Gemini, Perplexity,
Mm-hmm.
Note LMs. Multiple things are available. Multiple platforms are available
Mm-hmm.
by which people can get different exposure. They can ask questions. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they see what is relevant. They can start gradually, I would say, attending meetings
Mm-hmm.
as an observer to understand that, go with the seniors, helping them in their project work and the presentation preparation. So they get a lot of insights on that front.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ask me, when you say I reached in, let's say, 21 year to this position, and I'm seeing, I mean, to be honest with you, people will reach in 10 years now, because today generation is much, much smarter. They have a lot of exposure and very compressed learning available for them. So they don't have
Correct.
to wait.
Correct. Very nice. It's very powerful. Subhanish. See, would you like to give us some examples where, like you said, that practical, so for theoretical knowledge, we have all these tools available, YouTube and ChatGPT and Google and all. For practical knowledge, you said that attending meetings, maybe talking to seniors. So early in your career, could you, or whenever, could you share some example where this ability to go out of your domain and spend time with people from the other departments helped you in your career?
Yeah, I can sure. So if you look at my journey when I started, especially at Arvind, I worked with Arvind for almost 14 years. So I was in a corporate role, then I moved to the plant role. So, going to the shop floor, I think what is important, how much time you're spending on the shop floor. How are you understanding? You're part of their review meetings where they're not discussing about HR. They're discussing about how the, productivity is coming, what are the, why the value loss is high, right? Why you can say the challenges of, let's say, shutdown of electricity and something like that. So what are the challenges as a business which they are facing it? So I think that is the first time exposure you get that, from the understanding point. From the practical, I'm sharing from my own. Apart from that, you are a part of the reviews which is no discussion related to HR.
Correct.
Okay, they are talking about more, let's say, what is our sales plan for the next year, which territory we are going to explore now, which market is doing what is the macroeconomics impact on the business, what are the things we have to do correct in our things to be in order, moving back to the certain, chasing certain numbers. So I think part of those meetings, helped me, to be honest with you, to
Correct.
understanding business more depth, and having a mentor. I think that is very important, to having, like, as you, if you look at your organization again, more about how you can mentor development part of it, focusing on that, working through the case studies as well. So which give you one perspective.
Correct.
So scenarios are different in each organization. So
Correct.
if you ask me by theories, you can't achieve something, because a lot of reading, by reading posts, you can't understand much.
Correct.
By solving the real problems, you will understand more.
Correct.
So I think once you are at workplace, whatever comes to your way, if you're unaware of it, reach out to your senior, ask for the guidance, and taking the help from them. So I recall like when I was first time met with Sanjay Lal Bhai, he's a chairman of Arvind. So I might be the youngest HR guy who met with Sanjay Bhai. My CHRO took me there. So so it's about how you build your own credibility. So if you build your credibility by uh, you should have some content, right? You should have something to share with them because time is limited. So in short time, how much you can observe, gather, compressed, and present what is relevant for a context. So yeah.
See, how did your CHRO took you to meet with Sanjay Bhai, the top notch,
Yeah.
despite you being the youngest HR guy?
Yeah.
So how did you, what, you must have done something to impress him.
So it's not about impress. I would say it's about result. If I look at any organization, they focus on the result.
Correct.
And so we were planning to set up a one, you can say, new business line. And then I was the one who got that resource in the organization to convincing because you understand when you're hiring a people in the, you can say, same business line, it is easier to attract because you are well established. People love to get
Correct.
associated with you. When you're hiring somebody from, let's say, something which you want to start from the scratch, from the zero, and then attracting that person, making showing the proposition to that person, so why he or she should join the organization, and finding a right talent for the organization. Because if you ask me, the HR actually is a game changer. If you see the
Correct.
what resources we are bringing to the organization, how much their impact is very important of every position. Right.
Correct.
For example, I think that is one thing, and I think I was consistent in terms of performance as well. So whatever the task assigned to me in terms of the multiple businesses, so yeah,
So this is what you meant by when you said that building your credibility. So consistent
consistency.
performance.
I think consistency and results. I think wherever you are,
Hmm.
wherever I would say you work from the large organization to the medium organization, it's everybody focused on the results.
Very nice. And you see, just before that, you started talking about finance, about the ratios, about. So I checked your profile. You never worked in a finance company. You were just
Mhm.
giving an example of the investment banking, but still your finance knowledge is so good. So this
Mhm.
is yet another example of how you should be conversant about different areas in your organization.
It's very important. Like Amit, I tell you, like especially in HR, if you ask me, I can, discuss about. We do sales actually. If you ask me in HR, actually we are
Okay.
a sales function. If you look
Okay.
at, so we talk about let's say four P's, seven P's as well. How you position yourself as an organization to
Correct.
the candidates, right? So
Correct.
if you ask me, I'm doing a half of the sales job, right? Talking about
Okay.
the organization, building an employer brand. Like some people create a product brand, so we are creating an employer as a brand. So so these things are very very important. So we as an HR, as you move up in ladder, you have to understand what is your capital structure, how the cost of capital is coming, right? Where from the money is coming inside the organization, how much profitability we are focusing, what is our beta level, what is our PAT level. So know how much we are able to create value for our stakeholder, the shareholders who are working with us. So I think these are very important in terms of having a give you the right clarity. So I always say HR is about creating a fairness and meritocracy culture in the organization, where people should flourish, so but at the same time you have to keep your cost structures into the mind. Sometimes people are good, but they might not be required in your organization. The kind of setup you have might be your cost structures are not supported to it.
Mhm.
So not necessary that you should have best of the best. Sometimes it is not required. So you have to understand your business, your organization requirement, and then work towards that. How you can create pipeline in the organization.
Mhm.
How you can have succession planning in place. How you can
Mhm.
have the processes in place where people will not, they should feel that there is a fairness.
I understand. Very powerful, very powerful. So when you see when we are talking about meritocracy, many a times in Indian companies, in MNC companies having a meritocracy, even in MNC companies, it may not be that easy as it may sound, but it is more so in Indian companies, especially promoter driven companies who have now scaled up because of in the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever. So how should an HR person make an impact there and start making the organization move towards meritocracy?
Okay, very good question. So I tell you, Amit, I always say every organization exists for one purpose. The
Correct.
purpose is profit,
Correct.
right? So if there is a value, like for example, people invest time in that. So for example, when I'm talking about meritocracy, do we have clearly KRAs defined for each and every individual working in our company? What is a review mechanism towards that, and are we seeing any you can say benefit out of those KRAs exercise, or you're finding it, sometimes the KRAs are not rightly set, people make it as per their convenience. So I
Mhm.
would say there is a lot of lack in terms of, people don't have understanding. So where, HR roles come in terms of educating them, they have to show the what is the powerful thing.
Mhm.
If you are able to show that, to the
Mhm.
management, okay,
Mhm.
let's say we are going for balance scorecard, we are going for a gain method, so any method you can follow in the performance
Mhm.
management.
Mhm.
So how well we are defining our key areas,
Mhm.
and if we are transparent for that, right? Because today any promoters do understand the people are critical part of that, they are the center of it. Look at any examples today, so they have to take care of it. But when I'm talking about the meritocracy, fairness, when you are having a clear cut KPIs coming, so I'm telling you, even in my last to last organization, we have even gradually improved that. So bringing those KRS, you have to refine it. So no, I will not say on the first go you'll able to have
Mhm.
achieve that. It is
Mhm.
a process, it takes time, right?
Mhm.
So once it's evolved over the period of time, but when you have clear cut KRS, people have buying of it. There are two approaches to it. There's a
Mhm.
top down and there's a bottom up,
Correct.
right? So when it's a top down, what is your organization vision for 3 years from now, right? You know what is your first year target, 1 year you want to reach there.
Mhm.
So you have some numbers clarity, and for achieving those number, I think you have to just cascading down to those, the numbers to the down the line team. At the same time, you involve your sales team to tell them, showing them what is the potential of that particular market. Let them also come up with certain numbers. Let
Mhm.
them have some discussions, so which
Mhm.
will help you to buying in the things. So
Mhm.
it's a very fair process when people say, okay, I set my targets, I
Mhm.
said I will achieve this. But
Mhm.
we have to ensure they should not be loosely set up, and it should not happen that, sometimes what happens during this process, people those are high performer, they keep on getting more increased targets. So what happened,
Correct.
and with that person collapse. So
Correct.
that is a role of an HR. They have to see how the target setting is done. If the target setting is done fairly, without any bias, I think you achieve that. I think, and at the same time, people know their process, they know how they will grow, right?
Correct.
I think that is what the people want, clarity, they want growth. So, and respect. I think these are the three things as an individual look for it.
Very powerful. Very powerful, Subhanish. So, see, this next question is for the sake of people who are at the junior or mid management level, moving towards senior level in Indian driven companies, where the promoter might not be interested in listening to them, thinking or saying that, see, my company is sales driven and all this theory, this is all theory. So, how to
What is
get mind
theory?
share of that person, of that promoter?
What is theory? I'm not get that. What is theory?
So why, how will my organization benefit by having these balanced scorecards or KRAs? So I just want an HR function to take care of the employees so that they are working. So how to gain mind share of that sort of a promoter?
See, as I'm saying, everybody understand numbers. So
Very
we
nice.
cannot talk about only theories.
Correct.
So it has to be, I am translating the numbers in each and everything. For example, when you're saying HR matrices, are you saying what is my attrition level today?
Very
You
nice.
calculate, if the one person is leaving the organization, what is the impact of that?
Mhm.
You see, okay, what is the retention level is improved. How this team has outperformed, which has a better reward and recognition system in place. So, how you are linking those things, I think that is a responsibility of an HR. So let's
Correct.
say if I'm spending, let's say 1% of the overall cost, then what is the advantage I'm getting for the organization? So how my ROIs are getting calculated for any training program. So I think there are multiple ways, Amit, if you ask me. And I'm telling you, promoters today, they know that, right? Because if you look at everybody is running towards GPTW certification, they want to establish, differentiate themselves. Because today, the time has changed, right? People have options, right? People have options of remote working, people have options for a gig economy, like people can have multiple companies. And there are companies people want to stay with the company for a longer time. If you look at companies like Arvind, Wellspun, even Simpolo, when I joined, I saw people are with them from 10 years, 15 years, working in a one organization. So they have been growing with the company. They have been so committed to the organization. So I think it is more about how much, as an entrepreneur, you understand that. Even if you look at Wellspun, where BKG Dipali Goenka herself, rewarding the shop floor people. So they are coming and acknowledging everybody, because they know the people who are working on the shop floor, they are actually contributing to the growth. So to answering to your point, it's not theory. They understand. For example, I was hearing this guy Sabji Bhai Dolakia interview. I was, listening it. So it says very clearly. He said, "I take care of my people well, and they take care of my company." So I think we need now, the people employee first.
Correct.
The customer. So these things are people are understanding gradually, and that's how that is differentiating the successful organization versus other organization.
Correct.
So I think answer to your question, uh, there are companies, those who are in Fortune 500, they are not existing anymore.
Correct.
There are hardly companies who sustain 50 years and more. So
Correct.
I think those things are more about the system and process.
Very
If
nice.
they have right system, processes, and they want to create organization for a long, you can say continuity and perpetual way. So then they have to have the systems in place. And then you can, I'm sure, um, able to show value in anything. If you ask me, everything is measurable.
Correct.
Everything is measurable in HR. You just ask me, I will create a matrix for you.
Very nice. Very nice. So very powerful, Subhanish. So see, for the young HR professionals listening to this, understanding basics, knowing about the business, and talking to other departments or stakeholders in the language of numbers. How, what decision, what policy, what thing is going to benefit you in your numeric thing.
Absolutely. I think not even this, I think I would say every initiative in
Correct.
HR or anywhere, it has to, somewhere link with numbers.
Correct.
Why are we doing that? So there has to be question. So if I'm doing something for what? Let's say you say, okay, I want to let people go on picnic. Why? So they're stress free, they're more relaxed. Okay, their output will increase. They will
Correct.
feel more, create a more sense of belonging. Company taking care of me, right? So I think it's possible.
Very
Because
nice.
if you look at in HR, any resource can be measured in a different way. How many tasks you can do? So time is change. I think today even changing much faster. People are moving from activity focus to result focus.
Correct. Correct. Very right. Very right, Subhani. So, see, another thing I find very interesting is curiosity, asking the right questions. So, a
Yeah,
young
yeah.
HR professional who's trying to learn more about other businesses, other departments in the business, then having that sense of curiosity, attending meetings like you said, but also with a sense of curiosity and asking the right questions will help that person learn more about the business as a whole.
So I share one example I just recalling. So I think another thing is about the resilience. I
Okay.
think that is a key if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
And I recall I did my internship at Asian Paints at Kasna Park, Greater Noida. I
Mm-hmm.
was a fresh guy just coming out from the campus and
Mm-hmm.
went for my internship there. And if I tell you, I was waiting at the reception for the whole day. I
Okay.
was literally frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
I was clueless what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was unaware of it. I was not knowing what is happening in the organization, but I was waiting at the reception. I was asking the receptionist and asking when my guide is going to come and I'm going to meet, because I was excited. And then from morning to evening, I was only waited at that sofa. And I was thinking, I don't know what is happening. Have I come to the right place? What is happening? A lot of questions were coming to my mind.
Correct.
And in the late evening, somewhere 6:30, my guide called me and then he said, Subhanish, there was a fire, Yesterday there was a
Oh,
major fire in our plant.
okay.
So, that was the reason I was not able to meet everybody. We were busy in that. We were having meetings happening through, the head office, and a lot of discussions were on. So now my perspective changed. So, what I'm trying to tell, sometimes have patience, right? Look at, things from a different angle. Even sometimes people trying to push you down. Sometimes you might not get the result which you are expecting, but have resilience, bounce back yourself. Because if you ask me today, if you ask me, I don't know, you might be asking, but three, you can say powerful thing which I feel people should have. They should have, first thing, they should be resourceful.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a very, very important for a corporate success.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have resourceful, I said, in terms of your network, in terms of your knowledge, in terms of your connections, in
Mm-hmm.
terms of your knowledge of your own domain. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
another is about interpersonal, how good your interpersonal skills are,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of connecting with people. I think this is a very important. The last, which is a very, very important, the self-motivated. I don't think so today people have time to motivate you, right? So you have to have self-motivate. You have to get ready yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
have to bounce back every day, right? Don't look out for people will come and pamper you. Okay, no, you are the great resource. Please come every day to us. So people have a lot of options today. So I think these are the two, three things which I feel is very, very important
Very
when it
nice.
comes to
Very.
growth. Yeah.
So I'll come back to the self-motivate part, how to self-motivate yourself. But before that, see, from a young HR professional's point of view, he or she has his or her own KRAs and tasks to be done on a daily basis. Then in metros or big cities, traffic is another problem, pollution and so many things. How does he or she find time to learn more about the other businesses, other departments?
So if we look at any person who started a career, they are always working with the other departments, right? They
Correct.
are, let's say in the HR, let's say somebody working in a recruitment, then somebody has to understand the profile of the person, which person has to be get recruited. So they
Mm-hmm.
can ask questions from the technical people. And today, if you ask me rightly, Amit, I think time has changed. Amit, you don't have to travel. There are teams. You can connect over the virtual call to
Correct.
take guidance. There are people like on the go, like people have a time to smoke, people have time to drink, they can text people on the LinkedIn, they can reach out. A lot of people reach out and guidance and all. So you can, I think learning is not I think a challenge if you ask me. I don't see, I think it's more about, again, you say I'm just giving more on the punchline. I would say will or skill,
Correct.
right? So if you either, I always say if people doesn't have skill and has a will, I will definitely train him. But person has a skill but it doesn't have a will, it's very difficult, very, very difficult.
Very
So
nice.
I think if they have will, I think I'm sure they can find their own way. So I think to share, I think again I recall when I joined the company, initially I was spending most of the time on the floor. Nobody's asked me to go there and meet people.
Correct.
I was going on my own. So it's about you have to take out the initiative. It's your learning. It's your responsible. The career responsibility today in your hand. See, company and HR can only facilitate that. We can create processes. But if the people are not ready to take up any kind of an initiative, it's very difficult.
So going to the shop floor, and it's not easy. And being in HR, even more so because you have so many other things to do. So how does that motivation comes inside you? And you also said self motivation out of the three things. So how can a person self motivate oneself?
I think set up an ambition for you. I think set
Very
up a
nice.
one, having a goal. So I
Mm-hmm.
think define what you want to do. I always say like, so there are people like even those come for internship. Sometimes they quit their program after meeting with me.
Oh,
They have gone to the different program. They said this is not something they were looking for.
okay.
So the challenge today, if you ask me, people don't have clarity.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they should ask first why they want to go in a XYZ field.
Mm-hmm.
See, I go to a lot of colleges again. I see people do aerospace engineering, aeronautical engineering, right? Industrial engineering, mechanical, electrical, electronics, multiple branches, right? Mechatronics, but they don't know why they're doing it. Very, very difficult. They don't know. So how are you expecting them to at workplace? They know, okay, they have to do this. That's why I say a mentor is required.
So
They should see somebody, right? For example, when I did my internship at Asian Paints and Maruti, so I saw the people there. So I was having a certain thing in my mind, okay, see, I have to reach there, right? I have to go there. So you start following, right? You start reading about it. See
and you
what takes
also
you there.
correct. Please go on.
Yeah. So what takes you there, I think is very important. So like when you say self-motivation come from like because you plan your own day, right? You plan your own day. So you see, okay, because if I go to the shop floor, so I understand better what is the requirement of the organization. Sorry, what is the requirement of the department head? So you are able to do better screening. So I always say even you have to spend time in planning first.
Okay.
If you spend good time in planning, your execution will be flawless. But if your planning is poor, you just run the marathon, not on the track. You're not going to achieve going anywhere.
Correct.
So you have to be on the track. So if as a recruiter, as a TA person, I'm just taking what TA as an example. So if I am able to give you the right resource for screening, for further interview process, and you like the candidate and candidate join. So I build my gradually I build my credibility. This so you understand my profile very well.
I
You
understand.
understand my department well. So you have to go understand, okay, how big is the department, he has to work in a shift, how the working condition, how many people he has to administer, right? What are the other department he has to license, right? What are the digital literacy required in terms of does he has to work or she has to work on the computers, not to work on computer. So you get a lot of clarity and you can able to tell and how this role is making difference. So having a I think this is something which is expected out of it.
Very, very powerful, Subhani. So, see, you also mentioned about mentors and networking. So, when we're talking about clarity, people don't have clarity. So, how can they have this clarity? How does mentoring? First, let's talk about mentoring and then networking. So, how does mentoring help in getting this clarity, and how to acquire those mentors?
So I think your organization again, like where you have a list of trainers or facilitators, or today people can go to LinkedIn, they can connect with the people like in which field they are interested. So and go to the you can say forums, being a part of the a lot of you can say associations. So I'm a life member of many association. I think I took a member somewhere 20 years back. Like I was a NHRD member, ISCD member, ISEPS member, Ink Blood Society member, multiple associations. I might be having 25, 26 association memberships. So I think having a membership of the associations, go there, attend the seminars. I never missed any HR conclave happening in my town when I was studying. I go
Very
to
nice.
all HR conclaves.
Very nice.
So I never missed any conclave. I ensure that I should go there and then connect with people. So that is another way you can connect with people. So conclaves, seminars, webinars. So multiple way, like we are interacting, it's a networking. So now we know each other, right?
Correct.
So this is how the people build their network. Another thing, you approach, I would say like you randomly pitch people. So same way they can also pitch multiple professionals. People have time, they will reply as per their convenience. Have patience, but they will reply.
Correct.
So if you lose patience, it's your choice.
Correct.
So I think that's how you get mentors and how mentors will help you. See, I always say you cannot replace experiences. As I'm saying, chat GPT, logical, critical thinking can't be replaced,
Correct.
right? It will give you some compressed information, but you have to take decisions with real people, real problems. So mentor, they have experienced those things. They can share, okay, you say, okay, this is happening, this is how, because end of the day, we all are human.
Correct.
Now generation is more advanced. That's it.
That is true. See, we also talked about having that vision of new changes which are going to happen, the future of work, what kind of talent will be required in future. Again, so is it a self-study kind of a thing, or more you interact with people, more you network, more you meet with mentors, talk to people, how to have that sense?
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of journals. Okay, if you look at HBR, you look at Deloitte studies, you look at PwC, you look at KPMG. hydric and struggle. So many organizations, they keep on seeing the trends what is happening in the world and how things are changing because after the AI has come. So, and there are forums like which is exclusively for CHRO. We meet together, we understand each other in terms of what are the challenges they are facing in their industry because we meet people from a different industry. Like recently, I was invited at a American Management Association to moderate the session for 360-degree synergy. How you can say cross industry collaborating together. So I think things are a lot of things are happening in this space. If you look at, I don't know how much you're aware of it. Tesla has collaborated with Panasonic to manufacturing their batteries. So they are co-creating it. You look at Nike; they have collaborated with Apple for the health solution. So see, things are happening in a very different way. So same way things are has to look at very different from the talent perspective as well. So when I say talent perspective, the talent which is not available with you, you have to have talent from the other industry. If somebody come and join you, then you can learn from them. Okay, this
Very
is
nice.
what things are happening. Let's say AI. So people have a lot of fear in their mind. They might lose their employment, they might lose their job. But it's not the reality when computers have come. It's always upgraded.
Correct.
So AI is more about, how you can take a help of it. So earlier, you have to read 15, 20, 60 pages. You have time because it takes time to reading comprehension. You just ask for a summary, you look at the key points, but should know how to use it.
Correct.
You should not miss. So that's why your role as an organization comes where you have to train people up to what level, up to what extent you can use it. Because if everything is just come from the internet and you're showing as is, so sometimes like people ask for look at resumes today in a college, especially look at the synopsis today. Everybody has same because everybody have an access to chat GPT. For you, me, it's same. You might have a premium version, some more value addition for you. That's it, nothing else. So where your brain comes. So either you are editing it, you are putting your own experience, taking a guidance from the faculty. So there is a scope, if you ask me. It's more about so research work, journals which is keep on happening in the world,
Mhm.
that will give you perspective what is happening in the future, and people are going to do that.
See, we now you talked about better planning leads to better execution. Why is planning more important? I am asking this again is because, see, you mentioned that a person, in case they want to reach higher, they have to read journals to upgrade their knowledge. They have to attend conclaves, forums. They have to do self study, having that learning mindset, and they also have to learn about other departments by meeting people. Plus, they have to excel in their own KRAs, in their own domain. So,
Right.
planning and execution, this can only be executed by better planning. So some thoughts on how one should plan.
See, as you plan multiple ways, so I think as a human, we have a tendency, we always pick up the low hanging fruits first. We always pick up which is I can easily to complete those tasks. I would
Correct.
say always take a difficult task first.
Okay.
Write down that, break it. What you have to plan your day, what you want to do in a day today. Okay, I want to complete this reading, I want to complete this task. Write down, either on a your things to do kind of a list, or let's say what are the things are required to solve a xyz problem, or you have a certain agenda in place. Let's say hiring a x resource from where you want to hire, so you should write down what companies you want to pick up the talent. You look at what is the available options, so
Mhm.
write down those things, plan your things in that way. So break the task, right, by which you are able to, one, two, three, okay, I want to complete one chapter of this particular journal, or I want to focus on this article, I will read one page.
Mhm.
Let me complete my learning. So
Mhm.
like today, I think self-paced programs are available. So
Mhm.
people have convenient whenever they want to have an access, they can have an access in the late evening, anytime they can have an access to information. So that's how I'm saying that. So planning, just write down somewhere, either maintain simple Excel sheet,
Mhm.
open the Excel sheet, or either make a things to do kind of a list,
Mhm.
or either put one project and then divide that project. What are the things you want to do? You say step one, I want to go for this. Step two, I want to go for this. Step three, I want to go for this. For this resources, I want this. So I think this is how you can plan that.
Very nice. Very powerful. See, we have talked about resilience, curiosity. We talked about learning mindset, hard work, focusing on the business side,
Hmm.
learning about new changes, the future of work, about networking, mentoring, planning, execution. What else do you think? And also resourcefulness, self motivation, interpersonal skills. What else do you think? Anything else you would like to add as your takeaways for young professionals, not only in HR, in because these are relevant to people in any domain.
Hmm. So okay, I use some I'm more into abbreviations. I would say uh, CSR.
Okay.
Okay, so CSR is not corporate social responsibility. I say CSR is more about how much credibility you build again. How
Right.
much credible you are. Like, so are you standing what you are saying?
Mm-hmm.
Have you done your homework before going and presenting? And second is about speed.
Mm-hmm.
So today, if you ask me, the speed is going to differentiate people. Credibility is speed and with relevance. So
Okay.
I think these are the three things I feel this is a very important. I think if that is there, I think this is a very key differentiator in the people.
Mm-hmm.
So people talk long stories, but they are not making sense to the organization. They are not relevant. So not required. So there has to be some time. Like today, if you see things are changing so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So how much speed you're bringing to the, let's say you complete the task, but you take 2 days. I need in 2 hours, right? So are you well concerned with the tools which is available, which can help you to do the same work which person is taking 8 hours to 2 hours? So that's how your individual level making differentiation in yourself.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
So in today's time, you see resilience is something which I want to again ask you to share some thoughts, because I get people coming to me saying that during my sessions or sometimes talks etc., that I got a negative feedback from my supervisor, and
Hmm.
I'm not able to focus on my work anymore, or
Hmm.
because of this problem my work is suffering, or because of that problem I think. And also I see my classmates, they are moving much faster, and how do I handle that, and I feel that I am stagnating. So resilience, how powerful it is, or how much more powerful is it now in today's times where there are so many things which are happening. So a few more words on resilience with some personal example also, Subhanish.
Okay. So okay, fine. So I just tell you, like you rightly said, I think things are changing. People are not getting time to socialize. People are not time, in terms to delivery part of it, and they keep on getting a lot of, because there are pressures on everybody. There are stress level increases, and people keep on asking the lot of giving feedback which is not positive. I would say an area of improvement. So I always say, always look at yourself. I'd say more about the inner dialogue,
Hmm.
right? So I think I always say there has to be balance in terms of your, as an individual, the self-respect.
Okay.
Okay, I think as long as things are not impacting on your self-respect, nobody's attacking on your self-respect, be there to understand why it is happening and why somebody is giving this feedback. So I think listening is another important, because sometimes when somebody start giving us, I'm telling you, like, I'm very happy to hear that when you say people give feedback, I'm telling you, Amit, people don't give feedback.
Correct.
They avoid giving feedback because everybody wants to do good, 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 good. You are very good. And I am say always when the negative feedback comes, receive it. That is something which somebody is actually want to work on with you, for the improvement. So what is important at the same time, if you can step back, take it positively and asking the person, how can I improve on this? If you can guide me on the same. I know it's difficult. So you have to train yourself. You have to see, okay, critically examine yourself. Have you really made a mistake?
Hmm.
If yes, then improve it. So I think personal example, I think many times, to be honest, when with promoters. So let's say there are 10 tasks. Let's say I missed one. Okay. So let's say 10 tasks were assigned to me and I missed one. But I have to listen for that. So if you ask me, is it fair? I would say yes. Why not? So that's
Correct.
why you've been hired for.
Correct.
right? And if they have given, so that's when that's in priority.
Correct.
So I think prioritizing the things which help you to stop this kind of a feedback. If you're able to pay attention, so there has to be some rules in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You have to spend your time wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you giving you more time?
So, would you like to share some personal example during the course of your journey where you made a mistake, but you became a better person because of it?
Yeah, I think. Okay. So I think, of course, I think every mentor played a bigger role in my journey. And there are multiple managers. I think at the time to time they have given me different perspective to look at the things, and that's has really shaped my career. So, to coming to the point, let's say when presenting things to the chairman for the first time. So I can share one example like. Um, there was a discussion with the chairman, and chairman asked me to ask for my opinion in one-on-one. I was on one-on-one with him, and I had given a one answer to him, so which I felt that it's nice and it's good. Thinking it should be commercially viable and companies able to save cost, not having external consultant on board. But when I move up in ladder, so I had a discussion matter. They said because they were looking at endorsement, how much I am open in terms of getting somebody from outside. What happens? Sometimes you get a consultant, like especially like Kushalta and all, you get a external consultant. I'm telling you, they help a lot. Why? Because they can give a different perspective. Sometimes although you whatever you say, I'm unbiased,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not influenced.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but when you bring somebody externally who has no association with the organization, who's just
Correct.
there for an improvement purpose, so in that case, people listen to them seriously and take things very very positively. So I think this is the thing I learned. I think that is important, sometimes to have external partners on board, to, use them. So it's up to you how are you using them.
Very nice.
So on a personal front, also many things, let's say presentation of things, right? For example, I recall when I started and somewhere in 2010 and something like that. So sometimes, I think I'm sure every talent acquisition guy face a problem like there are candidate near misses. For example, they are about to join and they back off.
Mm-hmm.
They are not joining the organization. So then I was in a routine way, I just go and tell, okay, the person is not joining. So then they tell, this is not the way, right? So am I have a backup with me
Mm-hmm.
when I'm going and having discussion? Okay, this person is not going
Correct.
join, but I have a three backup.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I have to take those things positively in terms of structuring my work. For example, I am also having a challenge like when I hardly write things, in a structured way, an organized way. But I've started capturing those things.
Okay.
I think those things, keep on coming to you as an individual.
Very
I
nice.
think still also you're learning a lot of new things.
Correct.
For example, sometimes you take your own judgment. This is not right. So they ask you, no, I have asked you to do this. You haven't done that. So I think those things are very, very common. So I think you also have to do self-assessment. Yes, I think I missed this thing. Right.
Very nice.
I think acknowledging is very important. And I'm saying this is in line with about self-respect. If the self-respect is getting compromised anywhere, I think there's no point to stay.
Very nice. Very nice, Subhanish. See, self-assessment, again, it resonates with what you earlier talked about, goal setting for keeping oneself self-motivated. The problem which I find sometimes is the goal setting is a problem. Many a times when I ask in my workshops, when was the last time you spent half an hour just thinking about your career? Out of 100 people, hardly one or two will raise their hands in the last 1 year. So people are not spending time in setting their goals. And once you do that, you self motivation comes because then you are working towards that goal and then self
See, I mean,
assessment.
I tell you, like what happens to the company, when the large size organization, it's very difficult to have one-on-one interaction. I always say IER is one to many, and HR is more about one-on-one.
Correct.
In IER, you address 10,000 people, 1,000 people together because they are doing a similar kind of a homogeneous job they are doing. When it's come to HR, it's more about one-on-one. So how much systems you are? If you ask me, HR of team, let's say 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 people cannot cover 1,000 people. So
Correct.
you have to give those skills to the managers. So where you have to encourage them to have those discussions with them. And you have to show them that value. The challenge in India, especially, people have a challenge for a succession plan,
Okay.
right? So when the succession planning is a challenge, people don't want to develop, and even they're not focused. So if they are focused, there is a system processes by HR has to come up with a program which should be fast track growth program for some people, launch that, put a platform, people can appear for it. And I'm saying in the end, career journey, career growth is the individual responsibility as well. But at the same time, we should have system and processes as well.
Correct.
So once you have those things in place, I think that is manageable. It's not that challenging.
Very nice. Very well answered, Subhanish. Also, now coming from junior management to mid management, what would be your advice to people who have reached the mid management level now?
So I think now they have to start because sometimes they at the mid management level they first time become a manager and started managing team. I think for them to understand how to take team together, the team management is something which is very important for them. At the same time, how much they can comprehend the system in terms of presenting things to the top management and understanding the guidance, why things are moving, why it's happening.
Mhm.
So I think more business inside start participating in the business meetings, looking forward to that. So I think this is something which help them to move up in ladder.
Okay, and what courses to do, how to plan their own career. So, should, going to IIMs, XLRI, or
So I would say always I think my experience is XLI is one of the best college. XLRI and TASE I think they're the best faculties available. Even short crash courses are very equally important today. So if you look at SHRM, they have their own programs. Aon they have some programs, capsule programs. So I think it's always important to upgrade yourself. Korn Ferry run a assessment program. Multiple organizations they have different programs. So I think depending on your domain, in which domain you want to excel, you want to become a specialist, you want to go for journalist. I think depending on your area of interest, you just pick up that and just see what is relevance for you. Just don't go by flashy names or the cost. I think see what is the cost benefit analysis for you. If you're investing money, how much time it is required, and are you committed to the program? So that is very important. If you have a time, then go for it. If you don't have time, please don't go for it.
correct? Correct. Again, that planning and prioritization comes in play. See, again, one of the things I wanted to ask you, Subhanish, is earlier CEOs, they would be either the business heads or the finance heads or, the main head of the main business part of the company. But in today's times and going ahead, people management is becoming more and more important. And with the way of technology is going, learning about other departments is not all that difficult now. And that is why we are seeing now people from HR department, moving on to the CEOs roles. So at senior level, what would be your advice to people at the senior level?
See, it's about. I think you are. I will say very few. We can count people on fingers. Those have from CHRO to move to CEO's role. Very very limited professions have reached it. So I think this is again more about what value you are bringing on table. To be honest with you, in terms of your decision making. So I think if you ask me, at a senior management, our role is decision making. So and your decision is going to impact the large. Your impact is going to be very very large. So I think how much you are well conservant with the facts, numbers, and your decision is going to make a difference in the organization. So I think if you are well aware about the organization, how they operate their business, how the money is coming to the organization, how the company is making profitability, you understand that, you know how to take team together to the next level. You are able to set the next vision for the organization, taking the company to the next level. I think this is something which has helped you to, have the journey towards that. And financial understanding is very, very important. Without a financial understanding, I would say you can't go anywhere. So for any role, I think that CMO, CFO, whatever. So financial understanding is very, very important because without numbers, nothing is there. It's all about numbers.
Very nice. All right. So coming to the last part, Subhanish, you look very fit, and you talked about,
I'm not that fit. I mean, I have to work on it.
yeah, yeah. So how does one keep oneself self motivation? Physical well-being and mental well-being are also part of self motivation, apart from goal setting and clarity of thought. So, and in today's time, pollution, traffic, so many things, stress is. So, how does people at any level, how do they keep themselves physically and mentally fit?
So it's a old saying, healthy body have healthy mind. So that goes without saying. So it's important everybody have the work schedules are tight. People have deadlines, pressures, different things in their game. So sometimes important to take a break. So I think breaks are very important. So spend time with a family or do things which you love doing it, either playing with your kids, going out, movies, break. So I think every person has their own way to enjoy it. So I think I feel the break is something which is working for me. So I do take a break. So when I feel I take a break.
Very nice.
Okay, so that's very important. So I balance that way. So I say, okay, this is done. So and we don't have at the senior management. If you ask me, we don't have working hours. We operate 24 into 7 wherever there's a work. It's come to us. So at the same time, we have to focus on the health part of it, and the mental well-being is very very important today. So have timely routine checkup as well of yourself and take a right break, I would say. I think that is something which is helping me. So I do take breaks, like vacations are important.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Subhani. So it has been,
Thanks.
since we started interacting, it has been lovely. There are so many points I could have asked, but we have to stay within the time limits that we
Sure,
have
sure,
set.
sure.
So
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so
much,
much.
Amit. Thanks. I am wishing you all the best to you and Kushalta. I'm sure you guys are doing fantastic work. So all the very best to you. Definitely looking forward to interact you in person. So you are based out where, Amit?